Hey everybody, today we're talking about prepping in the year 2022 and what I'm going to seal up in this Mylar bag kit that I purchased. So if you're like me, or you're learning to be like me, you do worry about emergency preparedness. You worry about having long-term food storage. And maybe you're at the point now where you're just starting to get stocked up in the local stores. And you don't really have the money right now to get started in freeze-dried food and spending a lot of money at once. But you can go to the store and pick up an extra bag of rice, an extra thing of coffee, whatever. But you want the stuff to last longer. Well, today I'm going to show you how I do it. We're going to seal up a bunch of different stuff, including some freeze-dried wholesaler stuff. And I'm going to tell you why we're going to do the freeze-dried wholesaler stuff. And I'm going to show you how easy it is and how simple it is to do. Now this kit that I picked up, okay, I'll leave you a link down below where you can pick it up. It's $25.50, basically, $25.49. 100 Mylar food storage bags in 3 different sizes. I'm kind of questioning my need for the smaller ones, but they do come in handy for leftovers. A case in point, your freeze-dried wholesaler bag, you've used about that much of this and you have that little bit left. That's where those bags come in handy. Instead of wasting a large bag, you can use a smaller one. Now they do make bigger bags than this. The company has larger bags, but if you're interested in this little kit, I thought this was a good starter kit. So it's 100 Mylar food storage bags in 3 different sizes. They're all BPA free, made with premium quality foil, easily sealable. They're smell proof. They can withstand temperatures from 67 degrees, minus 67 degrees to 248 degrees. They protect goods from light, moisture, insects, and they keep your long-term food storage fresh. You don't have to buy freeze-dried food to keep it fresh for 20 years, and that's my point with this. So today we're going to pack them up. We're going to use the oxygen absorbers. I'm going to explain how they work and what to do with them. And I'm going to show you how this kit works. I do like the fact that it comes with labels. You get 100 bags, but you get 150 labels. So if you have to change stuff out or you make a mistake, it's no big deal. So the first thing I'm going to do is tell you about the thickness on these. These are extremely thick Mylar bags. They're 4.5 mil thick. Now the large size is 10 inches by 14. Medium is 6 inches by 9, and the small is 4 by 3. So you got 1 gallon, 1 quart, and 1/2 quart for foods and any kind of thing you want to do with it. Like I'm going to create an emergency meal here out of the freeze-dried stuff. So if you have freeze-dried wholesaler stuff already and you want to make emergency meals out of it, just pour water in, hydrate, and eat when it's ready. You can do that too, and that's really, really handy. So first thing we're going to do is put up some rice. And I used a little bit of a larger one here, the medium-sized one. Now within a day or two, using the oxygen absorbers, they will suck all the oxygen out of that bag and they will seal up, kind of like a tightly sealed freeze-dried bag. Something similar to, say, this, where it's all sealed tight, you know, like that. So that's what will happen in about a day or two. So let's get started with the rice. I have another 2-pound bag here, a 5-pound bag here, and I'm going to show you how I do it. And then we're going to go through and do some other stuff really quick, and I'll show you at the end how I put together a freeze-dried meal. So let me get it set up, and we'll check it out. All right, so of course, because this is a 5-pound bag of rice, and I may need 2 of these, we're going to put it in the largest bag possible. Now, these are kind of different, and you'll notice these little weird white things here. These are made to slip over the bag and run down that seal and seal it up. They do work very well. I've used these in the past, and they do hold the air in. But some people won't be satisfied with that. So if you don't want to use that, you can really just fold these over, take an iron, or even, I have this over here, a food saver, and seal it that way. Doesn't matter, whatever makes you more comfortable, but I will tell you for a fact that these little bags these little sealers do work well, and the Ziploc is a different Ziploc than anything you've ever seen before. It's a lot stronger. So what we're going to do first is open the bag. There we go. Now these are kind of gusseted on the bottom, so you can kind of set them up a little bit. Don't rely on that too much because it may fall over as you're filling the bag, but it's fairly simple to do. And I'm just going to cut an edge out of here. First I'm going to take this little used bag. I forgot I had this little one here. And we're just going to dump that in there. Okay. And I'm sure I'm going to be vacuuming up my mess after this. This is a messy task. So, you know, while you're sealing stuff up, don't worry if stuff falls all over. You can always vacuum it up later. Okay. Take this guy here. And I'm going to go about halfway up before I put an oxygen absorber in. I like to kind of stagger them as I go through. Now, I don't know how this is going to work here. Doing this on camera can be messy. And I like to fill them about 2 to 3 inches from the top. I don't like to fill them all the way up because remember, you're going to need room to seal these. So that's about perfect right there. Don't fall over. And you see what I mean about rice going everywhere. So I'm going to put a couple more oxygen absorbers in, because I had one at the bottom to start with. Now these are your oxygen absorbers, okay? These are the things you see all the time that say do not eat on them. Sad that we live in a society where we have to say that, but it's true. Now, these I will suggest you do seal back up with your vacuum sealer. I opened these last night to do that real quick, and I did seal them. These will go bad if you keep them open too long. Generally, they'll tell you to use them all in one sitting. I've had perfect luck with sealing these back up. Let's go, and being that we're going to take a couple out of here, I'm going to throw about 2 or 3 in here. We'll do 3. Now I'm going to stick one down at the bottom, okay? And another one down at the bottom. I kind of forgot to put one in the middle. Now you'll notice as this settles, you'll have room. Don't be fooled by that, because you want to lay this flat and flatten it out. You don't want to seal it where it's a big puff. Okay, and one right on the top, and that should be good. Now what you can do to minimize these getting exposed to air is just kind of hold them over for now. Stick something over them. You don't want them exposed to too much air. And actually I probably could go a little bit higher on this one because it's about 6 inches from the top, so I might as well just get rid of that last little bit. There we go. Alright, so I'm all set here. 5 pounds of rice sealed up. Now I'm just going to kind of hand do it first. Then you're going to take this piece here, okay, and slide it over like that. Go back to the start and just push down on it and seal it up. And that should give you a very effective, good seal on it. Now the oxygen absorber will take 2 to 3 days before it fully sucks everything out of there. So you don't want to worry if it's not sealed up right away. And you see how I am here. Now, if you do find that you have a little too much air, like I did here, because I'm doing it more for demo than for paying attention to what I'm doing, you can let some of that air out, okay, and reseal it. No big deal. And that's what I like about these seals. And if you feel, well, did I do it well enough, is it good enough? You can always go back over it with these things and make sure that that seal is absolutely perfect, okay? So there you go. You got your rice. I'm going to take a label out of here, the one I've already used, and put the date on it and the name on it, and it is good to go. And that's it. It's really that simple. And there you go. So we're going to let this sit overnight. Now, I'm not going to show you that overnight and make you wait. But we're going to let this sit overnight, make sure everything is sealed. And you will see, as it sits, I'm going to leave it flat like this, so it becomes flat and hard and everything sucks in there, and you'll get a good, strong seal on it. So we're pretty much done with the rice. I'm going to move the rice out of here. And now we're going to move on to the coffee. And I think that right now with coffee prices about to skyrocket, they're having a shortage of the coffee beans themselves, as well as just the supply chain issues and everything. With coffee about to skyrocket, if you drink coffee regularly, you're definitely going to want to seal it up. So let me show you how I do that. So apparently my dates are all messed up because today is the 4th. I sealed the one that I marked the 4th yesterday on the 3rd, and then I sealed that one and put the 5th on it. So we'll correct that after the fact. That's why it's nice to have 150 labels. Now it is kind of messy here. This is how it works. So you're going to open these up. Now this, honestly, I've had many of these stored for a very long time, this coffee, with these kind of seals. They're really not the best. They will work, and they will work fine. You'll be okay using it. But I find that using it in a Mylar bag and sealing it up works a whole lot better. So, right off the bat, I'm going to take 2 of these and put them at the bottom. Now, these should be soft and pliable. Remember that. If they're hard and they won't bend, they're already sucked up too much air. They're no good. They already had too much oxygen in them. So, pop that open. There we go. And I'm going to take these 2 and put them at the bottom. Now this is going to be a little bit easier because I can kind of hold it. And I know you guys don't see everything in camera, but I'm just dumping the coffee in the bag. And I'm not sure how we're doing. Oh yeah, we got room in there. I'm going to open up the bottom a little bit so I can kind of stretch it out. And remember, you want these to pack flat. So as you're doing it, remember to leave that space so you can put them flat and the oxygen can be sucked out of them with your oxygen absorbers, and you'll be able to be all set. So you get up here. Now about there, I'll put a couple more oxygen absorbers in. There we go. Now you see where we are in there, right? We're about down to here. Okay, so we still have a little more room. And I'll probably have to do this because I have another thing of coffee that I'm going to seal up off camera, a smaller one. So I'll probably have to save what's left here because I want this to be flat again. But let's see, maybe I'll be able to get it all in there. That's about good. I want to save it because I want to do 2 bags of these. So there we go. I'm going to put another one on top. And there we are. That's set and ready to go. So when you're done, now with coffee, you will get some of the grounds in the Ziploc. So it's important to make sure you get all that out so it doesn't suck the air out and ruin it. Now, when you get this, I'll show you how I do it how I do it correctly. When you get this to a point that you're comfortable with, you just have that little spot open there. You can lay it on its side, kind of flatten it out, and there you go. And we'll take one of our extremely coffee-stained now Ziploc pushers here and zip it all the way across. And now you know that is sealed. Now I missed a little spot right there, so we're going to go back over it like that. And there you go. And that is completely sealed and ready for long-term storage. So let me finish packing up the coffee and packing up these little black beans that I have here. And then we're going to bring you back and we're going to do a meal, pack up a meal, in the freeze-dried wholesaler stuff in one of these bags. So all you have to do is add warm water to it, seal it up, let it sit for about 10 or 15 minutes, and you've got a meal pre-made. So let me finish up what I'm doing here, and I'll bring you back. Now, you know, I had a thought while I was finishing up the coffee here. What's more easier as far as storage space goes? You've got these 2 big monster containers, or a flat package of this stacked one on top of the other. So if you have limited storage space, this is also an excellent way to put it away and keep the stuff in a lot more of a contained environment. So that's just a thought as I was doing this. Something to think about. Now, a quick suggestion as I'm going along here. If you buy stuff like this, okay, you want to package this within, I would say, a month of getting it. I know we get busy and we forget to do stuff, but you want to package the bag itself. You don't want to buy this and stick it in a closet for 6 months or a year or 2 years and then decide to seal it up. You want to seal it up at its peak of freshness. So these are fairly recent. I think you saw these in a video I did recently at the dollar store. So we're going to pack these up and seal them up and make sure that they are packed up within a couple months of buying. All right, when the video is over, I'm going to show you everything that I did because I got a big pile here behind me of all the stuff I did. But we're going to move on to making a freeze-dried meal out of freeze-dried food. Obviously, if you're putting this in your emergency bag or bug-out bag, or if you're going hiking, you don't want to be carrying these big, huge bags with you, you know, if you're just one person. So you can make up some pre-made meals with this. Now, what I've done with this, you notice I have 2 bags out here, is I don't necessarily want to hydrate everything in the same pouch. Maybe these take a little bit longer to hydrate than these do, okay? So I'm going to take my vegetables and put them in the small pouch, and then I'm going to take my rice and my roast beef here. And by the way, if you haven't tried this stuff, it's amazing. My link down below will save you 15% just by clicking the link. What I'm going to do is first do the vegetables. We're going to put some vegetables in here, and then we're going to put the meat and the rice in there. So let me get a measuring cup out here so I can kind of measure out how much I want, and we'll try that out. Now, this is kind of why it's important to try out your emergency food before you actually use it. You notice I have my deoxidizer, as they call them, out. The reason it's important to do that is because you know that these vegetables will hydrate a whole lot quicker than the beef and the rice. Now I'm going to put those in there. And again, you can do this with a cup or your hands. I'm just going to do this with my hands. So I really got the measuring cup for the rice. I'm going to throw in some carrots. And it's very easy to overestimate how much food you're putting in here. So I'm going to take a little bit out. Because it seems like a little when you're putting it in, and then when you hydrate it, it's like, whoa, I made way too much. And a little bit of squash. Okay? And you can all dice this stuff up later when you feel like it. Okay? Toss it in there. I'm going to seal it up. And I have my sealer. Okay? I want to kind of push it flat. Put my sealer there. And seal that up. And we can label it later before we put it in there. That's going to be the veggies and the zucchini, the squash, I mean. Okay? And I like to seal these back up as quick as I can because I don't like leaving them open. I mean, most likely these will be eaten in no time, but still, I like to seal them up. Okay, now we're going to move on to the main ingredient. Now, what I'm going to do with this is put it in here already, along with some Dissicant packs, oxygen absorbers, whatever you may refer to them as. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and I'm going to stick a couple of these oxygen absorbers in here, one on each side. Okay, now I'm going to put my roast beef in there, and I'm going to pick out a couple of nice pieces. And again, if you're making a meal for a bunch of people, or if you're extremely hungry, you can easily use a bigger pack. That's no big deal at all. Okay, so I'm going to take maybe, let's say, do I have 2 big pieces? Yeah, there we go. That's 2 big pieces. That's good. Okay, I'm going to take 2 big pieces here and kind of slide them in. And again, you want to make sure you're doing this in a fairly clean environment. You don't want to be doing this in a dirty environment. I'm going to take a little piece off that. It's a nice thing about freeze-dried food is you can kind of break off what you don't need. There we go. And that should fit in there perfectly. There we go. Get in there. All right, so there we go. We got those 2 pieces in there. And now I'm going to take a cup, or, well, I'll do a cup of rice, and just drop it in there. So when I'm ready to cook this, and you probably could put the veggies in last. How you put it in is up to you. You know, the order in which you put this in. This is brown rice. Really good stuff if you've ever had it from them. If you've ever done this, you can do it in any order you want. Again, I'm just kind of doing this fast for video. So you can kind of think out a better meal than this. And there you go. Okay? And you just shake that down to the bottom. So when you're getting your veggies out, you won't have a problem. You can just reach in there and grab your vegetables. Okay? So that should do it. We're going to seal it up. There we go. All sealed up. And take our sealer here and just run it across the seal. The nice part about it is, you notice there was a little bubble there. It wasn't closing very well. Using these sealers, that closes that right up, no problem. So then we label this however we want it. You know, we can put roast beef, rice, carrots, and squash. And there you go. You got yourself a portable meal. Now again, in a little bit, you know, in a day or two, that's going to suck out all the oxygen and it's going to get really, really tight around the food inside. So it'll have an oxygen-free environment. And the nice part about that is all rice has bugs in it. It's just the nature of rice. It kills off the bugs. It keeps bugs, rodents, anything else away. And you're good to go. You're set. Once it's done, you don't have to worry about that problem anymore. So let me clean up my table here. I'm going to show you all the stuff that I've sealed up and show you what I have left over and show you how it worked out. Now remember I told you to seal up your oxygen absorbers, and of course we want to preserve these as best we can. They've still been exposed a little bit to the air, but I would like to seal them back up. Let me open the bag first. That might make it a little easier, huh? I still want to preserve them as best I can, and whatever falls down here I can at least throw back in there. Because I notice they're starting to get a little warm, and that usually means that they're absorbing the oxygen in the air. So you're going to be putting them in here as quickly as you can. There we go. All right. Get in there. Now, I have my vacuum sealer out here because I want to test this vacuum seal and see how well it will work. Now, of course I can Ziploc it like that, but what I'd like to do is suck out the air so there's no oxygen in there with them. So I'm going to push them down as low as I can, get me a little bit of space up here to stick this in there to seal it. And let's see if it works. I haven't really tried it yet. At the very least, I want a nice tight seal, even tighter than the Ziploc. And it's not sucking the air out, but I'm going to get a good seal on it, and that's all that's really important. And I'll just write oxy absorbers on these. Okay, there we go. Give it one more seal. I like to give it 2 seal cycles with this one. This is actually a pretty decent one, but it's made by Ziploc. See? Now that's not going to be opening anywhere. You see that seal along there? That is completely sealed, along with this being sealed as well. So I know my oxygen absorbers are safe. I will label them. And they may not work as well the next time we use them, you know, but they still will be good enough to work again. And the date, 1/4/22, that's it. So, let me clean up the mess here and show you everything that we've sealed up today. Alright, so in just a short amount of time, I know that the video, doing it on video takes long, of course, because I'm setting up the scene, I'm editing them, but as a short amount of time, I got a lot of food put away. I have 3 things of rice, both small, medium, and large. I have a freeze-dried wholesaler's meal. You see how I label it, FDH meal, roast beef, brown rice, carrots, squash, and I put the date on it. I have 2 things of black beans sealed up, and I have a ton of coffee. And my oxygen absorbers are also sealed up and ready to go. So that's really, really cool, really handy. Definitely enough food for everybody to be able to eat. So I'm definitely pleased with it. I'm very, very happy with the way it works. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will put a link down below to where you can pick up this whole kit. I think it's a very handy starter kit. I think for somebody just getting started, this will really, really come in handy for you. This is the kind of kit that you want to get started with and be able to seal up your food, and especially with all of the crises that we're facing right now with supply chains and stuff like that, you definitely want to think about food storage, and this is the easy way to buy stuff off the shelf without spending a fortune on freeze-dried meals. Don't get me wrong, I still made one to show you. But you don't have to spend a fortune on freeze-dried food to go to the store, buy a couple of things extra of rice, buy a couple of things extra of coffee, and seal it all up like that, and you'll be ready to go. Anyway, folks, I'll put the link down below for the kit. I think the kit's really cool. It's, $25.49? $25.50. Not bad at all. Easy way to get 100 bags, 150 labels, the sealers, the oxygen absorbers, everything. And you notice I did pack them up in here, the oxygen absorbers. And the bags themselves are awesome. They will work well with heat. So if you dump boiling water into this for a meal, it will work perfectly. And once that seals up, I want to try that out. Maybe we'll do that in a future video. Try it out and see how it works with my theory of putting it in 2 separate bags with the veggies and the meat in a separate bag. Anyway, folks, I thank you guys for watching. If you're interested in freeze-dried food, by the way, you can check out our freeze-dried wholesaler link down below. It has all that stuff in there: roast beef, filet mignon, steaks, venison, everything freeze-dried. Even desserts. There's cheesecake, chocolate, all that in freeze-dried food. You can check them out there. Click my link. You'll save 15%. Under that is our Amazon affiliate store. I try to put everything that I review in the Amazon store. Even if it's more expensive, I'll tell you where else to buy it somewhere else. But I try to put everything in the Amazon store so you guys can check it out and see, and check out specs or whatever. They do have different kits. If you're interested in that, this link will be in my store as well for this whole kit. And don't forget to check out our My Patriot Supply link down below. That's preparewithiridium.com, preparewithiridium.com. I see some folks already stocking up on that, so good to know you guys are watching and stocking up. And lastly, our Thrive Life freeze-dried store down below. If you're interested in becoming a consultant, it's a really good time to do it. We have some deals going on this month. Also, if you're a delivery customer, you can order the stuff every month, get a delivery at a certain range you set from $50 to $200, whatever you want every month, and it's a great way to stock up on food. But you also can just order the food any way you want, as you like it. Anyway, folks, I thank you for watching. Stay safe and stay prepared.